Transhumanism, what it is and why it is evil. Transhumanism is a very strong trend among the Western elites. Its aim is to overcome the natural limitations of the human body using technology. Proponents of transhumanism, including Yuval Harari of WF and Klaus Schwab, of course, believe in ideas such as these. One, that we can improve the human body to create cyborgs, which are fictive organisms in which human organs and technology are seamlessly combined. Two, the properties such as human intelligence can be genetically enhanced by germline genome manipulation. Three, that mRNA technology will soon allow us to write circuitry for cells and predictability program biology in the same way in which we write software and program computers, as worded in President Biden's executive order on biotechnology. Four, that we will soon cure cancer using genetic or even nanomechanic tiny machine therapies. Five, that machines will shortly be able to read thoughts. Six, that there is no free will because the mind is a collective of biochemical processes. Seven, that soon we will obtain digital immortality by uploading our minds to the cloud. Eight, that artificial intelligence, AI, will soon lead to machines more intelligent than humans. And either nine, that AI will make most humans useless to society because all their work will be taken over by machines. Or 10, that we will be able to genetically reprogram the sex of adult humans in the near future. So to name just a few of the ideas they espouse. Why is all of this scientific balderdash, and why do so many, including clever people like billionaire Elon Musk, believe in it? And what are the roots and goals of this movement? Let's answer the questions in reverse order. What are the transhumanist goals? There are two groups of transhumanists. The first group sees transhumanism as the ultimate method of self-actualization, alias self-realization, supposedly allowing those who think they can afford this eye-watering, expensive, alleged self-improvement to escape the biological limits of their bodies. For example, the transhumanist Martin Rothblatt, whose cells have the XY karyotype, but who became a woman, says that self-defining one's gender is just the first step in the path that will lead to a cure for cancer and other lethal diseases, and ultimately to digital immortality. And related to this goal, but of lesser importance, the idea that transhumanism could promote universal equality of outcomes in the tradition of the French Enlightenment ideal of equality by law. In this flavor, transhumanism has an emancipatory character akin to abolitionism, the fight against slavery in the 19th century, or feminist emancipation, the idea that both sexes should be equal in every respect. Proponents of this variant of the creed believe that all human beings could be altered using transhumanistic technology to achieve equality of outcomes. We will see in the last two sections that none of these hopes can be fulfilled. The second group of transhumanists hopes to use transhumanism as a technical means of power in the spirit of Aldous Huxley, who describes the engineering of human classes with planned properties in artificial wombs, implanting sensors or molecule effectors, for example, delivering pulsating drug doses into the circulation, are believed by transhumanists as genetic engineering to afford physical control and manipulation of the masses to direct their will and to leave most human beings superfluous. For example, Harari believes that artificial intelligence will make most humans useless. According to him, only a small elite of superhumans will be needed in the future. He also thinks that technology can be used to direct and manage the will of the masses. And we'll see that while technology can be used to manipulate the masses culturally, it cannot be used to control them physically, other than the pushing of chronic mass intoxication addictions. Also related to this intention is the idea of using the transhumanist narrative to exert cultural power via fear of the future, as has been done in the climate change and COVID narratives. But this is by far the biggest effect that the transhumanist narrative has had so far. And what are the cultural roots of transhumanism? Several major cultural sources: self-actualization, emancipation in the sense of the French Enlightenment, Cartesianism and neo-positivism, postmodern anti-rationalism, and also eugenics. The self-actualization was originally developed by Pico della Mirandola and other thinkers of the Italian Renaissance. It was a program for cultural elites to realize the full potential of their personality and arose with the discovery of the modern individual. The individual was thought to be primarily related to himself and was tasked with maximizing his own culture, knowledge, and pleasure. Emancipation is the idea originating again in the French Enlightenment and contains a factor that the Protestant Enlightenment, Britain, Netherlands, German-speaking countries, and Scandinavia does not recognize. The main ideas of the Protestant Enlightenment are the dignity of the individual's freedom and rights, and the sanctity of design of the bourgeois society built on those ideas, namely a state respecting and protecting the rule of law and enabling democratic participation. In the French tradition, however, there is a notion to create a secular paradise on earth, which was described explicitly in Abbé Etienne Gabriel Morelli in his Code of the Nature. And the idea of emancipation, according to which humans need to be liberated from oppressive power structures of society by breaking with traditional rules, was very potent in the French Revolution and later on in feminism. Cartesianism and neo-positivism. Cartesianism is a philosophy of Descartes summing up the deductivist maximum, "I think, therefore I am," has many aspects, but the one we are concerned with here is the view that humans can systematically describe, understand, and manipulate the world using mathematics and science based on them. For Descartes, the entire world is a mechanism that can be modeled mathematically to enable its mapping and manipulation. Then eugenics. The ideas of eugenics go back to Arthur de Gobineau, again another French theoretician, master race, Herbert Spencer, coiner of the term survival of the fittest. Eugenics became the political movement in the 1920s in the US and Britain. And its core idea is that genomes of the individuals with population should be improved to yield a higher genetic quality of the individuals and a better overall genetics quality of the population. Postmodern anti-rationalism. Transhumanism also has a deeply anti-rational aspect. Postmodern thinkers like Jacques Derrida, Michel Foucault, and Judith Butler reject the idea that there even is a reliable knowledge of the world. For them, human language is the expression of power. All propositions have to be interpreted from a power perspective. The rationality of transhumanism. Transhumanism is anti-rational because it hankers to apply scientific methods to systems that cannot be modeled using mathematical physics, chemistry, or biology in the way transhumanists fondly fancy. In other dreams of transhumanism as a naive and absurd as eugenics expectations, we can't build interfaces on our sensory apparatus because the models of the neuronal systems we have are far too superficial and partial in nature. The problem is that we do not understand in detail how the different types of energy reaching our various sensory cells are even translated into neuronal signals. Now, authors like Harari, who extrapolate from technology that is available today to predict achievements of transhumanist technology, do not appreciate how the insights of physics were translated into technology over the last 3 centuries. Transhumanists fail to grasp the limits of physics and engineering, and they have no idea of biology and its swinging limitations. In other words, their predictions reveal that they do not understand science at all, and that's why these visions should not scare us. They are all mere fantasies. Transhumanism is nothing but neo-Lysenkoism, an ideological pseudoscience. Hazards and failure of transhumanism. As long as transhumanism was just an ideology detached from reality, it did not warrant too much attention. And today's widespread usage of gonadotropin release hormone, puberty blockers to stop onset of adolescence, and performance of surgery on underage children on the onset of adolescence with normal genosomal karyotype to establish the diagnosis of personality disorder demonstrates the dangers and nihilism of the transhumanist ideology. Now, transhumanism will fail when the functional elite, the 1 in 20 carrying out the management of society on behalf of tiny overlord class of owners, start to understand to what extent they themselves have been physically damaged by ineffective therapies that do nothing but harm. So the views of this article and the opinions of authors do not necessarily reflect Collective Spark. This is on Collective Spark by Johan Eislebem by UK Column. And please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box.